and that means it is time for another Throwback Thursday video. This was a move back in the 90s. I mean, I still kind of do it sometimes on the dance floor, but it's definitely a throwback. At the beginning of this year, every week I would count down my top 10 favorite songs from each year in the decade of the 90s. So I thought, you know what? Why not do movies now? So here are my top 10 favorite movies from 1990. Coming in at number 10, Three Men and a Little Lady. This is the not so great sequel to Three Men and a Baby. Three Men and a Little Lady was not as great, but as a kid, I loved it because it was a sequel and I loved the first movie. I don't really remember the plot. I think like the real mom of the daughter threatens to move the daughter back to England or something. I don't really remember, but I remember liking it, and so that's why it's on my list, but only at number 10. Number 9, Jetsons, the movie. I loved the Jetsons when I was a kid, and the movie was no exception. George Jetson gets a new job on a different planet, and the whole family has to move, and there's just so much that goes wrong. I should watch that again. Number 8, Ernest Goes to Jail. I love that I have an Ernest movie in my top 10. My dad has like a pretty, like, so stupid it's funny sense of humor. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He loved the Ernest movies and we love to go see them. I mean, every Ernest movie is basically Ernest just being stupid. And I loved it. Number 7, Look Who's Talking 2. Another sequel that's not nearly as good as the original. Kirstie Alley and John Travolta are like together and they have a daughter. So the daughter is Roseanne Barr's voice and the older son, Mikey, is Bruce Willis. So basically Bruce Willis and Roseanne are just battling it out during this entire movie. Fun fact, I learned about the birds and the bees after watching Look Who's Talking, the original, because there's a scene where Kirstie Alley's making out with the old dude, and then all of a sudden she's pregnant, and I remember asking my parents, can you get pregnant by kissing a boy? And we had a discussion. I don't think they got into details, but they basically said how you get pregnant, and I thought that was so disgusting. And I still do! Number 6, Rocky 5. Rocky comes back after a slump. He's poor, he's down on his luck. Then he meets Apollo Creed in the ring. I think he wins, right? I don't even remember. I mean, Rocky has to win. Doesn't Apollo Creed die? Number 5, Kindergarten Cop. Oh, who doesn't love seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger out of his element, undercover, pretending to be a cop? No, he's undercover, pretending to be a kindergarten teacher. He's a cop, undercover. Anyway, it's the famous line, it's not a tumor. 7 or 8 years ago, my friends and I were at a bar and I got hit on by one of the guys who played a character in Kindergarten Cop, but I don't remember which character. Crisp? Does that sound right? I don't know, he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and he looked old. Number 4, Ghost. Oh, Ghost is such a 90s classic to me. More Bruce Willis. Oh, he's gone, but he's not. He's not gone. And the evil guy typing on the computer really fast to try to make things happen. Whoopi Goldberg. This movie was so good. The famous clay pot scene. I hunger for your touch of love. Only time. Number 3, it's controversial, and many of you will think it should not be above Rocky or Ghost, but it is. Tremors. I loved this movie as a kid, and I don't know why, because I was terrified of scary movies, and Tremors was kind of scary for a kid, but it was so absurd that I knew it was so absurd. There are these like monsters living underground that would like cause almost an earthquake, and they would tremor, and then they come up and they eat people. I don't even know if there are any celebrities in it. I feel like Reba McEntire maybe was in it, but otherwise it's just like a really stupidly awesome horror movie. Number 2, Home Alone, which was the number 1 box office hit of 1990. It is funny when you watch it today though, because Home Alone would have never happened in the cell phone internet era. That movie plot cannot exist in 2015, and that's what I think makes it so great, is it like stays in the 90s. It's so early 90s. And my number 1 favorite movie from 1990, and on my list of one of my favorite movies of all time, Edward Scissorhands. Johnny Depp was built in the laboratory. His hands are made of scissors. This Mary Kay consultant discovers him and just gives him meaning to his life, and he gives the community meaning to their lives. Ugh, I love Edward Scissorhands. Anyway, guys, those are my top 10 favorite movies of 1990. Comment below and tell me your favorite movies from 1990. There's a great website called Box Office Mojo, and you can look up any year and see the top 100 grossing movies that year, and that'll help you refresh your memory and tell you what movies were from 1990. Be sure to subscribe. I post videos every single weekday. Give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to check out some of my playlists for other fun videos, and I'll see you guys later.